Stargazer Cabinet. Have you ever wondered why people of all eras turn to the stars and ancient knowledge of astrology to find answers? Everyone will have their own answer as to why this happened before and is still happening. There were times when astrologers were respected. Astrologers were in the courts of kings and emperors. The greatest ones turned to the oracle for help to clarify the situation and get answers to their questions. There were times when knowledge about the influence of celestial bodies was strictly forbidden, and many initiates ended their days on the fires of the Inquisition. The development of technology, faith in science, and human power replaced the blind worship of higher knowledge. Mankind has grown. Mankind has learned to take care of itself on its own. And as often happens with teenagers, humanity began to reject the experience of their ancestors. The accumulated knowledge of a dangerous heresy passed into the category of delirium among lunatics. And still, at all times, people secretly went to fortune tellers and astrologers trying to find answers and a way out of difficult situations. How can we relate to ancient knowledge today? Consider this a funny tradition devoid of original meaning. Or understand how knowledge about the movement of the stars can help a modern person develop in modern conditions. Let's figure it out. But before starting to form our point of view on astrology, let's deal with the main object of astrological influence, with you. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that you are no longer part of this world. It is a difficult task. We felt that in this state you no longer care where Mars is and what is happening with the Sun. In any case, you will no longer care how the influence of Mercury will help you advance in your career. You are no longer in this world or on this plane of existence. I hope you understand what I mean. Don't be scared. Let's go back to our land. Let's get back to another important issue. And who am I? It's simple. The question is philosophical, but let's look at it from the point of view of practical application. Fortunately, science is increasingly coming to the conclusion that ancient knowledge coincides with the latest discoveries. So what's your answer to the question? Who am I? Remember your answer. It is better to write it down. You can treat the rest of the story like a fairy tale, or imagine it as a hypothetical possibility or a fantasy plot, but be aware that this is based on scientific research, which means that in 9 out of 10 cases the data is confirmed and can be verified. The data I want to share is at the intersection of several disciplines: psychology, sociology, mathematics, the meaning of tarot cards, astrology, and even the postulates of modern screenwriting. Then I want to offer you a little trip. Perhaps there will be no movement in space, but for sure you will learn something about the traveler and the adventure that is prepared for each of us. What if, for convenience, I call you hero or character? Do you agree? Then let's continue. What I want to talk about is called archetypes. I think many of you have heard this term and this theory and are already beginning to understand what it is about. Let's introduce your character. Here, he or she stands before your eyes, preparing to hit the road. What does the character already have? To start with the whole set of astrological aspects, strengths and weaknesses, a predisposition to a particular activity, a unique way of behaving, and a way of solving life's issues. What is his or her task, in addition to implementing a personal plan to achieve your desires? Is it possible to fulfill the plan drawn up by nature for all living things? Plan for the development of all aspects of personality, physical, mental, spiritual, etc. This plan implies what is called the hero's journey in screenwriting. When your favorite character, driven by desire or necessity, goes from complete ignorance of his strengths and capabilities to the mastery of managing himself in any circumstances, until the circumstances turn into a plan. On this path, the character will face his fears, meet with betrayal, stupidity, and much more, and also with their best sides. Passing his tests and overcoming obstacles on his way, the character acquires supporters and new skills. He begins to understand exactly who in his environment is ready to stab in the back with a word or deed and who is just a companion for a while. Like a random passenger in the next seat on the plane, you may like it or you may not, but it is so. In our story, the character will certainly reach the goal that nature has set for him. Or do you think that nature created us by accident, just mixing clay, water, minerals, and a little bit of ether? It put this miracle on straw legs on the ground and said, "Go." Come up with a super partner, super house, super car, super income, and enjoy idleness while watching the rest of the characters change their lives for beads, trying to achieve the same. Beads don't care about nature. It will grow them without our participation, and everything that we consider an achievement will easily turn into a plain, like a surf that washes away sand houses. If you have children, you have acted like nature itself many times, when with one word, your child's game turns into scattered toys that must be removed in 5 minutes, otherwise no cartoons, no sweets. Of course, we love our children. Of course, we are glad when they are happy and busy with their games, but we actively understand how much our angels will have to understand, learn, and do. They still do not understand that they will take the most important steps themselves and answer the same questions themselves. So why not take it as an opportunity? Nature also has an understanding of what, in addition to their desires, a person must fulfill on his life path. The hero going to meet himself on the way. I want to remind you that we are still talking about the connection between modern science and ancient knowledge. And these disciplines will intersect all the time as we discuss all the stages of this journey. Today, my task will be to convey the main idea and offer my research to each of you. We have already imagined the child and the parent. Perhaps not all of our readers are already parents, but it is absolutely certain that each of us was a child in some way or another. And this is the first archetype, child or innocent, virgin. This is the step that is given to everyone as an unchanging fact, like the start field in a board game. Continue through all 12 archetypes. We have a meeting with the orphaned or outcast, warrior or obligated, seeker, destroyer, creator, lover, and so on, until the last defined archetype. By the way, you will be able to answer this question: what archetype will be final? I specifically listed only a few. A separate article will be devoted to each archetype. We will consider the connection with astrology, psychology, physics, and even programming. Let's figure out how this knowledge will help in everyday life, help solve daily tasks, and help you develop and enjoy the gift of life in all its beauty, at the same time expanding your understanding of the influence that stars have on all living things.